It's alive. Oh, it's alive.
Adventures in time and space, told in future tense.
All radio is dead.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Look, there comes one of them now.
Good evening, I'm Kyle.
I'm Brad.
And risen from the coffin, we are the Nosferatudes. Brad.
Kyle.
So what are you forcing us to watch tonight?
Oh, come on. Are you serious?
Now, Brad, this was your pick.
This was definitely my pick because I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, we covered Gremlins.
We did cover Gremlins, yeah.
The original 1984 Gremlins.
Mm-hmm.
And you had kind of lamented the fact that we only briefly touched on the 1990 sequel,
The incomparable,
which is titled what, Brad?
Gremlins 2: The New Batch.
That's right. So tonight we're doing. I think this is the first time. Well, except for our series, we've done the series where we've done. But when we did Halloween, we didn't even do Halloween in order. We just we skipped around. We did no, because we did the Jamie Lee Curtis story, like the Laurie Strode storyline, and then we covered 4 and 5 and 6. So it was a little broken up.
And then we covered Rob Zombie's Halloween and then the sequel right after. Halloween.
Yeah,
Halloween
okay.
2.
I guess we did that. But yep. So Brad, let's kick it off with why did you want so badly to cover the new batch right after doing Gremlins?
Well, Kyle, there are certain sequels, and we've talked about this many times. There are certain sequels a la Halloween 4, or Nightmare on Elm Street 3, or if you're into Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back. Sometimes the sequel is more fun. I'm trying to avoid saying better than the original. But sometimes the sequel ends up being your go-to movie over the original. Like, so Halloween. So Halloween's a perfect example because the original Halloween is my favorite movie ever. However, I've reduced myself to watching the original 78 version once a year. At Halloween, try to make it kind of a special viewing every time that like it starts, I just get all giddy and stuff like that and watch it on Halloween night. For the rest of the year, though, I watch Halloween 4 probably 7 or 8 times.
Okay.
Through the course of the year. I know Nightmare on Elm Street 3 you feel is superior to the original. And it's probably the one you watch the most or watch more than the original, even though the original is typically understood to be the best movie of the series.
Typically understood.
So Gremlins 2, I think, kind of falls into that spot for me. And I thought about it. I'm wondering, I can't remember. So this was 1990. So like 11. I don't necessarily think that I saw this movie before the original Gremlins.
No, I definitely saw the original. I think it
was close. Well, we were 5 when Gremlins came out, and I don't think I watched it when I was 5.
Yeah, but
I
I mean,
can't remember the first time I saw Gremlins. I can remember the first time I saw Gremlins 2, though.
yeah, you're talking 6 years. It was 6 years between the original Gremlins and Gremlins 2, because
Right.
what the original Gremlins was 84, right?
84, and this is 90. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're talking 6 years. So within that 6 years, the original Gremlins is it's on VHS, it's on HBO, it's on all that. So I know for a fact that I saw the original, before, but I believe I went to see New Batch in the theater. I
I
believe I
definitely saw
this.
New Batch in
Yeah.
the theater. Yeah, I definitely saw it in the theater.
And Brad, like, can you give the listeners like an idea as to why this, more so than the original, totally bucking convention, why this one for you is the go-to movie of the two?
Talking Gremlins with the voice of Tony Randall, Christopher Lee, Hulk Hogan. What more do you want out of a movie? I don't know. This might be the perfect movie.
It might be that Joe Dante captured lightning in a bottle.
It would be easier for me to list the things I don't like about this movie rather than the things I like about this movie. It would be a much shorter list.
Now, oddly enough, I totally hear where you're coming from. I don't personally agree. I like the original better than the sequel.
That's fine.
But the box office, though, did not care for this movie.
No, it didn't. I was one of the I was one of the few, I guess, that went and saw it. But
depending on which numbers, because they it's like an estimate. They're like, oh, it might have been 30 million. It might have cost 50 million to make the movie, but they only grossed 41 million
worldwide.
So yeah, so either way,
the best
they lost, because, like, in movie numbers, if you made it for 50 million and you only made 40 million back, it's a loss. And even if you take the 30 million, $10 million doesn't really even cover the marketing and all the back end costs.
But they had to have made that money back on video, on rental.
It's possible, and
I feel like this movie got really popular after it left the theater. And I think over the years, it's gotten a lot more love.
There's something to be said for merchandising. Right, because
sure.
This more so than the first one, this movie had merchandising, and they even Joe Dante even makes a commentary on, because they already had 6 years of merchandising the first one. All the Gizmo plush dolls, all the Gizmo toys, little remote-controlled Gizmo driving Barbie cars, all that kind of stuff. So the lunch boxes, the book bags, Spaceballs, the T-shirt. They had all of that.
Yeah.
And so in the end of the film, Joe Dante has the character of Daniel Clamp make a comment about merchandising the likeness of Gizmo.
Sure. Yep. I'm sorry. I just want to butt it. I want to make it very clear from the jump that I completely understand and agree that the first movie, the original, is the better made movie. It had Spielberg all over it, right? Joe Dante directed both of these, but it was written by someone different for this, and I know you have that name, but so it's a different writer. And Spielberg was probably more in the background on this one. I think.
Stepped back. He was only an executive producer on this one. He wasn't hands-on there on the set all the time. He basically just told Joe Dante, "Don't F it up."
Yeah.
But Joe Dante, so we'll get into it. But Joe Dante,
before we get into it, can I just say a couple of things? I don't know if this is a Nosferatu news, but real quick, I want to mention two things. Number one, the movie Send Help is out in theaters right now, and
So it's time for Nosferatu news.
Wicked, evil, twisted.
I got news for you, pal.
Go ahead.
So okay, real quick, just two things. So the movie Send Help, I just wanted to briefly mention. I was actually supposed to go see it tonight, so I apologize, Sean, if you're out there. I'm sorry. This is what I said I had to do. So this movie looks awesome. It's Sam Raimi, so it's one of our favorite directors, right? Evil Dead. But just the movie in general looks very, very good, and really it looks cool. Like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm glad Sam Raimi's having a moment right now because I think it's getting a lot of good buzz and a lot of good reviews. So I'm excited about that. And I also did read. This is a horror movie podcast. However, we are big fans of comedy. I have to mention how heartbroken I am over the death of Catherine O'Hara. That was
Well, and I mean, she goes back to Beetlejuice, and So,
oh yeah, sure, yep,
yeah,
Beetlejuice. But for me, I just always thought she was so funny. In obviously, a lot of people know her as the mom in Home Alone. And in that movie, she didn't get to be. She had to be more the straight person, right? She had to be the mom. Yeah. She had a couple of moments in the movie, but I don't think it really showcased what her comedic talents. But when you get to the Christopher Guest movies, A Mighty Wind and Best in Show, it just, I mean, it's a great ensemble cast, but her and Eugene Levy were always my favorite parts of those movies. And they worked so well together. And that is really where you saw how much of a genius she actually was. When I saw that she passed away, it was just kind of one of those celebrities that was a little bit of a gut punch, and you're just like, fuck.
That sucks. It was akin the sadness for me is akin to it doesn't quite get there, but like when John Candy passed away. John Candy was one of my absolute heroes.
No, yeah, sure.
I mean, just as growing up as a fat kid, to see a fat man as a lead in films, and having the family and the wife and the whole bit, and all the different parts, the roles that he played. He was a big hero to me. He was like somebody that I wanted to like model how, the joy that he brought me, I wanted to bring to other people. Mm-hmm. And Catherine O'Hara comes close to that in that, I mean, she is there for like formative experiences, things that shaped my sensibility, being in Beetlejuice, being in Home Alone. And then I had already been a fan of SCTV,
right,
and watching some of that growing up. And then the kind of SC, basically you could call it a Second City, film series, because that's pretty much what it was. It was all the Second City folks mixed in with a few other new people doing Best in Show, Mighty Wind, all these different movies. And Catherine O'Hara more so, I mean, it was a lot of the people that came out of SCTV, but Catherine O'Hara was like a collector of characters. Like you could tell every character she ever did, including the one that she did on Schitt's Creek, she probably met that person at some point in her life and career. And she just latched on and remembered that person's mannerisms and the way they spoke. And she could just pull a character out. Like, oh, I know that woman. Okay, here she is.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of people didn't get to see a whole lot of that until she started doing Schitt's Creek, and people kind
Right,
of
which
went
I was
back.
happy to see. I was happy
Yeah.
because again, once again, Eugene Levy and her, and I just always found the two of them when they worked together were just brilliant, just absolutely brilliant, so funny, and
Yeah.
they just played so well off of each other. And I am really bummed out that she passed. So I just wanted
Yeah.
to mention that.
Yeah, and so suddenly it wasn't like a
Yeah,
protracted
just out of
thing.
nowhere, it said a brief illness, and I didn't get much, more. I don't know if they really have a cause or anything right now.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything either.
Yeah,
Um,
so
in to go with Nosferatu, the new trailer for Scream 7, right, just dropped. Bringing back Nev
yes,
Campbell, Courtney Cox. It's back to the business.
yep, yep. I will watch it though, but that's the thing. I'm gonna watch it. So
Well, you know what? The last two, like, admittedly, everybody was hoping that you would get Jenna Ortega and the other, kind of more current cast back for this one. There was all the kind of behind the scenes, sort of political things that happen, and actors and other artists on it, pulled out and everything. And so now
well,
this is kind of
one got fired, and
right. One got
the
fired.
other pulled
Yeah.
out, and then they had to
Well,
scrap that
and the
storyline.
director then said, "I'm out.
Yep.
If I can't work with these people, I'm out."
Yep. So they
And
went running to Nev Campbell, and they're like, "Please, Nev, please come back."
yeah, so this
and
is
if I were
Plan
her,
B.
I hope she went dump that, bring that dump truck full of money up to my door, man.
So far from the trailer looks fairly compelling. The trailer looks like it's full of thrills and chills and brutal knife murders.
Sure.
So
Thrills and chills, definitely. Yep. I don't know, man. I loved, obviously the original was just brilliant. I loved 4. I really liked number 4.
yeah.
Outside of that, like I don't know. 5 was okay. 6 I didn't feel was very good.
Yeah. So,
So
to take it out of kind of it's one of those things. It's one of those things where, if you go back in horror history, it sounded like a cool line when they had Freddy say every town has an Elm Street, but in practice, once you take him out of Springwood, once you take him out of Springwood, it's kind of like eh. And so once they put Ghostface in New York City, it kind of was not as successful as when Jason took Manhattan.
Which I just watched that. That's so funny.
So yeah, getting kind of back to like a core, thing might be good for it. Might reinvigorate it a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah.
Who knows? Also, I wasn't even going to mention this. This wasn't even on my mind, but
okay.
I know that with you being such a big fan of Terrifier and kind of the story, the hero arc of the Terrifier franchise and how it comes, and now it's getting it had its cinema release with the last one, and now there is another challenger kind of to the throne, because you have Mark Fishbach, which most people would know on YouTube as Markiplier. And he has right now, I think it might be the top movie in the country with Iron Lung. And it's a science fiction horror. It's a science fiction horror that he directed. It's based on a video game, so it's based on an already outstanding property that he was able to get the rights to make the film for, but it just came out and it's been going bonkers. The film opening weekend grossed 8.9 million, and I'm not sure what the budget is. I have to do more research on all of that, but this is stuff that he funds a lot of this himself because he uses a lot of the money that he makes. He's one of the most successful YouTubers that's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
And he apparently managed his money like a fucking genius. And the budget was 3 million. And so far it's made 21 million at the box office total.
Awesome.
So I just saw an article, either it was this morning or yesterday, talking about how it's between Terrifier and now Markiplier with Iron Lung. It's one of these things where it's sending like the shockwaves through Hollywood, the chills through Hollywood, like because Hollywood itself, L.A. Hollywood, has been sort of losing its prestige. People aren't making movies there. I'm seeing multiple articles recently about how nobody's making movies in L.A. anymore. Nobody's even making movies at the Hollywood studios on the Warner Brothers lot or the Paramount lot. They're just not.
Everything's location.
It's either location or they're going to places who have like Atlanta, who have slowly and quietly built up a film industry where they have studio spaces available. They have on location places available. It's there have been other places within the United States that have now been successful. It used to be like if you wanted to make something on the cheap, you went to Vancouver, right? All the TV shows were getting
Vancouver.
made.
Yeah, sure.
All the TV shows were getting made in Vancouver. They all looked like they existed in the same fucking place.
Well, because New York, it was the replacement for New York quite a bit.
Right,
also.
right.
So.
And so now there's been many other places that have kind of caught on to the fact they give tax breaks, they have studio spaces available, they have all this stuff, and it's been pulling all that business away from the Hollywood machine. So they're already losing there, and now they have all these indies coming up, like real hardcore indies, self-funded indies, who are smashing records like in the actual theater, which is another thing that Hollywood thought was over. Hollywood was sure that the theater experience was done. Oh, COVID killed it. It cost too much money to do that. We're not doing that anymore. Everything's going to be streaming. And now all of a sudden they're looking at the numbers and they're like, holy fuck. How do we get our movies into theaters? We don't even know how to do this anymore. We fired the VP of distribution. We don't know what to do. So that was the other. I thought that was pretty big news.
Yep.
So let's get into it, Brad. Let's get back into Gremlins 2, the new batch, directed by Joe Dante, written by Charles S. Haas. Now, Charles S. Haas, I tried to look him up. This was his only actually really successful film.
Oh, okay.
Chris Columbus, they kind of tried to get him on board to write the thing, but he was making Home Alone when they were working on this.
Yep.
So he was totally unavailable. But I mean, Joe Dante still put together a pretty good team. Creature designs by Rick Baker, the Monster Maker Baker. Now, going back to what you had said about Joe Dante coming back and Steven Spielberg kind of taking a little bit of a step back, still a producer, but not like doesn't have it. You can see he doesn't really have his hand in any of this.
Yeah.
But it was because Joe Dante specifically, Warner Brothers was the one who wanted to do this.
Yeah.
And Amblin. They thought that there was room there to come back with a sequel, make some more money. Joe Dante was like, it's been 6 years. I'm kind of over it, you know. And they were like, "What do you need, Joe?" And he said, "Full creative control." And
Good.
when he went to ask Rick, and they said yes. And when he went to ask Rick Baker, Joe Dante goes to Rick Baker and says, "I'd really love for you to work on." Not that he didn't believe necessarily in the skills of Chris Wallace, but he was like, I want to make a step up. I want to have like really good gremlins that I can film in full light.
Yeah.
Can you please help me out?" And Rick Baker was not interested. And Joe Dante says, "What if I gave you full creative control?" And to make a lot of different kinds of gremlins, like whatever you can think up. And Rick Baker said, "You son of a bitch, I'm in."
Right.
So that was like where the starting point was Joe Dante with the off the leash, Rick Baker off the chain, and they were able to do basically whatever the heck they wanted with the thing.
Yeah.
And where did Joe Dante go with this, Brad? What was I mean, it
slapstick comedy.
It
Looney Tunes slapstick comedy.
How does the movie start? It starts
with Looney Tunes.
Starts with
Daffy
Bugs Bunny.
Yep.
Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck doing a Warner Brothers animated opening.
Yep.
As if you're about to watch like back the cool days of movies where you had a cartoon right before.
Yes.
Instead of all the commercials, you had a cartoon. It might be a trailer or two. Then you'd have a cartoon, and then you'd have the movie.
Yeah.
And so he wanted to bring that vibe back, let people know right off the get-go, this is silly.
This is going to be ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah.
And his specific goal, he has stated multiple times, he wanted this to be not only a parody of the first film, but a parody of sequels in general, because he thought it was so ridiculous that they wanted him to make a sequel to Gremlins, because he thought Gremlins was a complete story. Gremlins had a beginning, a middle, and an end, and that's it.
Yep.
And the end.
The story. The end. Yep.
And he was like, the fact that they wanted him to come back and make this sequel was so just off the wall ridiculous. He thought, well, then I'm going to send up the whole idea of sequels. And he got the main, quite a bit of the main cast back. Zach Galligan as Billy Peltzer. Phoebe Cates comes back as Kate Berenger.
Mm-hmm.
He's got, of course, Dick Miller and Jackie Joseph appear again as the Futtermans.
Yep.
The Futtermans lived.
They address it immediately. As soon as you see Billy and Kate, what are they talking about? They're talking about how Mr. Futterman lived, and he's okay, they're coming to visit, and
he's been getting some help, and now they're going to come to visit. They want to see. They want to get out of Kingston Falls.
Yep.
After everything that happened, see New York City.
Yep.
We've got Ki Lu Kia as Mr. Wing. He makes us a brief cameo in the beginning again as Mr. Wing.
Yep.
But then we have a bunch of again great new additions. We've got Robert Picardo plays Frank Forrester, the villain of the film, as it were. There's always kind of a secondary villain besides the Gremlins, and that's Frank Forrester. He is the chief of security of the building where Billy and Kate work.
Yep.
And of course, we've got Christopher Lee. Brad, do you know what's Christopher Lee's full name in this movie?
Oh, Dr. Catheter.
Yeah, he's Dr. Cushing Catheter.
Cushing. Oh, Dr.
So
Cushing Catheter.
Yeah, they gave him the first name, Cushing, which was the last name of his very good friend, Peter Cushing, that he appeared in all the Dracula films with. And catheter, what you stick in your urethra. We've got Robert Prosky as Grandpa Fred. Now, Robert Prosky is one of those guys, you're not going to recognize the name, but when you see him, if you watched any movies from the 80s and 90s, this guy was somewhere around there.
Well, both Robert Picardo, too. Like both
Robert Picardo, too, yes.
Like it's like they were in every 80s and 90s movie ever. My big thing with Grandpa Fred, he was in one of my favorite movies, and you think it's ridiculous that I even like it, Last Action Hero.
Right. Right. He's in Last Action Hero. He was Darnell the Junk Man from Christine.
Yep.
He was in The Great Outdoors. He was in Mrs. Doubtfire. He's been in a ton of stuff. Robert Picardo, like you mentioned. Robert Picardo is one of those guys that Joe Dante loves to put Robert Picardo in movies because Robert Picardo was in The Howling. He was, and then in a bunch of other great films. He was in Back to School, Munchies, Inner Space, another Joe Dante movie, Dead
Great movie.
Heat, The Burbs. He was one of the garbage men along with Dick Miller in The Burbs, another Joe Dante movie.
Yeah.
And also, and I don't know if I mentioned this before when we talked about Robert Picardo in The Burbs, but he was in Legend. He was like the bog witch, Meg Mucklebones in Ridley Scott's Legend.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Under all that makeup and that suit and everything. We got Giri Watanabe as Mr. Katsuji, which
you pulled that one out.
What do you what?
I wasn't sure if you were going to struggle. Yeah, but good job.
Mr. Katsuji is a pretty racist depiction.
Oh my god, incredibly racist. Oh my god, yeah. Yep. Totally.
It's 1990.
Oh, he's got the big camera.
It's a little problematic.
Yep.
It's like
yep.
Yeah, I mean, but Giri Watanabe, like, it was one of those things where I think this was like the last movie that he did that he kind of allowed himself to be like he does it. The weird part is like they were okay with him not doing like a Japanese accent. He has an American accent in the film, but he acts super like stereotypical 1980s Japanese with wanting to film and everything and take pictures of everything. Yeah, very Japanese tourist. But this was kind of the last one in like a long line of him kind of getting typecast in these stereotypical Japanese the stereotypes. Like, because he was Long Duck Dong in 16 Candles. He was in one of our favorite movies, Gung Ho.
Gung Ho
with Michael Keaton. Oh my God, that's a movie that more people need to see.
Yes,
but of course,
absolutely.
But of course, he was also in the horror movie Vamp, and he was in the Weird Al Yankovic movie UHF.
Yes, he was.
And there's a bunch of other wonderful people that pop up. John Aston as the janitor. Kathleen Freeman, another character actress. She plays Microwave Marge.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, as you mentioned, as himself. And then you got the voice acting again. Howie Mandel is back as Gizmo. Frank Welker is back as Mohawk, the successor to Stripe.
Yeah.
Tony Randall, as you mentioned, as the Brain Gremlin, doing an amazing high Australian. I'd forgotten that he went like educated Australian.
Yeah.
Like that was kind of weird. Other Gremlin voices were provided by Mark Dodson and Kirk Thatcher. Kirk Thatcher, no relation.
No relation. Yep.
Although I did have a short back and forth with him on Twitter back when I was still on Twitter.
Okay.
Because he had been in the Marvel television piece Werewolf by Night.
Yep.
And I noticed his name, and so I looked him up. And Kirk Thatcher is the Mohawk punk hooligan on the bus in Star Trek: The Voyage Home.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah.
Where they bust his jukebox.
Yeah.
That's Kirk Thatcher.
Gotcha.
And Jeff Bergman does the Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and Porky Pig. He was, unfortunately, Mel Blanc had died just the year before this movie came out, and so Jeff Bergman had taken over as Mel Blanc's successor. And one of the best characters in the movie, I feel, Haviland Morris as Marla Bloodstone.
Yes, she is. Yes, she's standout. Like she is definitely a standout.
Does her accent in this is amazing.
Is to die for.
It's so Long Island.
Yeah.
It's so yeah. I mean, she is perfect in this. Apparently, she still does act a little bit, but she actually makes most of her money now as a real estate agent.
Oh, okay.
So, Brad, as the movie opens here.
Did you leave anyone out?
Oh, that's right. John Glover.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Because I was going to say John Glover is Daniel Clamp.
Think SNL. Think it's Pat. Think androgyny.
That's right. That is a
brief
very
cameo
small...
by Julia Sweeney. Oh,
Julia
come on,
Sweeney
man.
is in this.
Love Julia Sweeney.
You could say character actor Archie Hahn is in this. Henry Gibson.
From the he gets fired for smoking.
Fired for smoking in the back room. No lines.
Break.
He has no lines. Everything he does. He
just throws his hands up like.
Yeah. And
that's it.
He's like, you can tell, but just by the way he looks and moves, like looking at the security camera, and he's like, please no. This is everything I have.
That had to be a favor for Joe Dante, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it's just because Joe Dante wanted to do a gag, and he was like, Henry, you want to come in and do this for a day? It's going to be like a 5-second shot.
Yeah, and it's hilarious.
Oh, it's great. He's perfect. He's perfect. Yeah. He does everything with his face in that. I love it.
Yep.
But John Glover as Daniel Clamp, John Glover from Scrooged, RoboCop 2, the ill-fated Batman and Robin, the Joel Schumacher Batman and Robin.
Yep.
But John Glover is amazing in this. When this opens, Brad, so we know that Billy and Kate are together. We know the Futtermans are coming to visit, and they're on their way to work. They're now in the big city, New York City.
The big city.
The city that never sleeps.
Yep.
The city's so nice, they named it twice.
That's pretty good. Not bad.
But where do they work?
Oh, they work at the Clamp building.
The Clamp building. Now Daniel Clamp. So a lot of this movie hinges around Daniel Clamp.
And let's just out with it.
What two people are there's one very noticeable one, but there's also another influence. What two people are Daniel Clamp is he supposed to be like an amalgamation of?
Oh, two? I just thought it was a parody of Trump.
Well, that's right. He's supposed to be like Trump, because the Clamp building is like Trump Tower.
Yep.
But he's also mixed with Ted Turner.
Oh, that's right, Ted Turner, right?
Yeah, because within the Clamp building, not only is it an office building, it has residential sections, and it has television studios, CCN instead of CNN.
CNN, yep, sure.
And they make comment like, I will give it to the writer. Let me look his name up again. Like I said, this was like his only hit as a writer. Charles S. Haas. They worked in all these little references to we meet this Grandpa Fred character. Grandpa Fred is a horror host.
Yep.
And he's actually modeled after Grandpa from the Munsters.
Right.
Al Lewis, who actually had a horror host job.
Yes.
At the time, just before this came out. And so he's supposed to be like Al Lewis, and they show these really bad movies, like the Tentacle Men and all this kind of stuff. And very much like Elvira. Elvira used to show like real stinkers because that's what they could afford, And they make the comment about how Billy's like, why don't you show some of the really good stuff, like Dracula, Frankenstein? And he's like, Mr. Clamp, he doesn't like black and white. It's all got to be color.
Right.
And there was the whole thing at the time about Ted Turner colorizing all the classic movies for the Turner Classic Movie Channel.
That's right. I think they even made a sketch about that on In Living Color with Jim Carrey. He was Ted Turner. Yeah.
Yeah. Ted Turner thought that colorization of black and white films was the wave of the future.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, there's all these little jabs and everything. And they do a really great job starting the film out. And you get to see like all of the important people and the features, like you're kind of following people around in a day in the life in the Clamp building.
Yep.
And of course, we get to see when we get to Splice of Life, genetics lab that exists in the Clamp building.
Yeah.
That is where we find Dr. Catheter, right?
Dr. Catheter, yeah. Mr. Christopher Lee. Sir Christopher Lee, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And he has some of the best scenes in the movie. And he does the same kind of job that Michael Caine did in The Muppet Christmas Carol, because he knows he is in a ridiculous comedic film.
Yes.
But how does he do this, Brad? How does he pull this off?
Oh, I think he plays it pretty straight, right?
Every line it might as well be the most serious thing that he's ever said.
Yeah.
Even when he says something like, rather cute, isn't it? And he says it with like this little sneer.
It's very think Leslie Nielsen in Naked Gun. Like, everything around him is completely ridiculous, but he's playing it 100% straight.
Yeah, he's supposed to be. Currently, I have the scene on where Gizmo is dancing to "I'm Ready" by Fats Domino.
Yeah, right.
And Christopher Lee is. There's obviously nothing really on the table. They've composited Gizmo in, so you can see full body Gizmo.
Right.
And Christopher Lee is staring at it as if he's watching, questions for the Prime Minister. Mm. He is so serious and so stoic.
Yep.
But yeah, you get this amazing kind of opening where you really get introduced to everything. But for anybody that hasn't seen the film, and I know some people that listen to this might go and watch the film, but how do they manage to get Gizmo? So it's like Gizmo is at Mr. Wings.
Oh, well, so Gizmo's at Mr. Wings and he dies because he's old. The Clamp Corporation is trying to like buy up that area, and he's like the last holdout, right? He won't sell. But he's really old and he dies. And so they go to demolish the store to make room for whatever Clamp wants to build down there. I think probably the Chinatown project. It is. So it's part of the Chinatown project.
The most stereotypical Chinese buildings.
Yes, really, really bad. So anyway, so Gizmo escapes out like a hole, in the building, and runs into the alley, and the weird twins from the genetic lab are downtown, and they find Gizmo escaping, and they grab him, and they're like, I've always said, if you want to find something weird, go downtown. And he grabs Gizmo.
Yeah, they're literally looking for test subjects. They're looking for like rats, and
they go downtown.
Yeah, whatever they can find.
Yep.
And
so they bring him back to the genetics lab, which is in the Clamp building, which is where Billy works. And
yeah, you have to have some level of like a synchronicity happens, like it's a little bit of like fate that Gizmo ends up there, and it's the building where Billy happens to work, and the whole bit. And of course, Billy he overhears the package delivery guy whistling Gizmo's song.
Gizmo's song, yeah.
Yeah. And it makes him realize, Gizmo must be in the building, and he finds out that he's at the genetics lab.
Right.
And they reunite, and of course, as soon as Billy is in possession of an animal, what is bound to happen?
Well, wait a minute. I know that so I wrote this down. In the original, we blamed Billy, and Billy deserves a lot of the blame. But Billy's not to blame in this one. Who's really to blame in this one? Whose fault is this whole movie?
Well, technically, it's Gizmo
Not technically, it is Gizmo's fault
because Gizmo does get out of the drawer
when he
after
wasn't
Billy tells
supposed
him-
to.
Yeah, Billy tells him
Yep.
stay put.
Stay put. I'll be
quiet.
back, and then we'll go home, and everything would have been fine because Billy's he's older, he's wiser, he's more obviously dealing with what he dealt with after in the first one. He knows better, and he's going to follow the rules strictly now. So everything would have been fine had Gizmo just stayed put, but he couldn't stay put.
It feels like you're victim blaming.
I'm. It's causation, Kyle. Just causation. It's his fault. He caused this whole thing.
Now,
you can blame John Aston too, if he wouldn't have fucked around with the water fountain.
Yeah, the John Aston has to fix the busted ass water fountain because that's one of the things that they make a bit of a critique in the film, right? Because in the first film, we get the whole kind of like tie into Gremlins in the form of Murray Futterman, because Murray Futterman makes the comment about how all this foreign stuff, nothing works right.
Mm-hmm.
You should buy American, because, you buy these foreign cars, they break down, all this foreign equipment, foreign parts.
Which he says again when he shows up. He's like, you can't be too careful with a lot of foreign bugs coming into this country,
Yeah. But so now the commentary is through the Clamp building itself, because the Clamp building is supposed to be the most modern technologically, the most advanced, the most curated, high quality. I won't do the full impression, but it's supposed to be the best. It's supposed to be the best.
and hilarious too.
Yeah.
And why do I say that? Because there are lines that the building says in the movie that are funny. So like Billy's going into the bathroom because he's got Gizmo, and there's someone in the bathroom, and then he sees Billy, so he walks out. And as he's walking out, the building goes, "Hey, pal, I sure hope you wash those hands."
Yeah, because they have everything in the building is monitored.
Yeah.
Which I made a note about this. This was like this movie predicted Amazon, because they are literally clocking and measuring everything that everybody who works for the corporation does. So like they have these automated lights. So if you stop moving around in your cubicle for too long, the lights shut out. Right. And all your stuff turns off. Yep. So you have to always be moving and doing things. And if you're in the bathroom for too long, or you go into the back room to have a smoke, an unauthorized smoke, and it's not that smoking is not allowed in the building, because
it's just at an authorized, designated break area.
He's on an unauthorized break.
Yeah, you're on an unauthorized break. It's not a problem that you're smoking. Well, okay.
Yeah. And so the movie, the building is tracking everything, and
there's a part like I can't remember. I think it might be Kate getting off the elevator, and the building is talking again, and the building is saying, to the 90 Cadillac or whatever it is, please move your car. Your car is old and dirty.
Yeah. Well, and then
this movie is just fucking full of little little lines and little like hidden treasures like that you have to watch this over and over and over again to kind of pick up.
Well,
all
when the fire alarm goes off.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, giver of life.
Yeah, giver of life, tool of early man. Yeah, there is a fire in the building.
The building is on fire. Yep. Oh, the fucking the Trump, not the Trump, the Clamp. Goodbye to the world. Right. When Clamp plays it like later in the movie, he's like the end of civilization. Well, it's the end of civilization. the
Yeah.
Clamp, network would like to thank each and every one of you. And,
we hope we've brought you viewing enjoyment.
We hope you've enjoyed our programming, but most of all, we hope you've enjoyed life.
And the funny part is that was actually based on a real tape that CNN had.
Oh, my
CNN
God.
had a tape that this was something that came out, and they put that in the movie.
Yeah.
CNN had a tape in case the world ended.
Right.
But so the whole building is supposed to be this super advanced building.
Yes.
And meanwhile, nothing works right. The automatic spinning doors.
That was so funny. That was hilarious. So that's right in the beginning, right? So Billy and Kate are trying to walk into work, and they're trying to walk into the Clamp building, and this asshole, because it's New York, so they're just trying to portray New York, right, in the 80s and 90s. And the guy just comes up behind him and pushes him out of the way to like, out of my way. And he goes in and he gets into the rotating door, and it just starts going haywire. And he's spinning around like crazy in there. So
and then it locks up, and he's trapped. And then later they show like somebody's coming out, and there's like more workmen. There's workmen there, and somebody else is trapped in the doors. And meanwhile, there's a regular door right next to it, like 5 feet away.
Everybody wants to go in the rotating door.
Everybody's going in the rotating door because
you ever
so
do that
lazy.
There are hotels. So I used to travel quite a bit for work. And you go to a lot of hotels, and a lot of hotels have that rotating door. No one goes in that fucking pedestrian door that's right next to it. And I always do, because like there's almost like it gets gunked up. People are waiting to walk through the rotating door. And you're just like, why don't you just walk in the fucking regular door?
But yeah, so there's all these little nods to the fact that, there are the gremlins in the system. Nothing works right. So it's another little commentary on that sort of idea. And the whole building, like you said, like you pointed out, is a character in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't for the fact that, yes, like Gizmo gets out of the drawer and everything, but if it wasn't for the fact that nothing works, and like John Aston has to like fiddle with the, even the water fountain doesn't work.
Right. Nothing works. Yeah.
He spends his whole night fixing things.
Right.
Everywhere he goes.
Right.
And so, of course, Gizmo gets the water. Now we get more Mogwai.
Yep.
Which I have to point out, the whole first half of the last episode, I kept saying Mogwais as the plural, like a fucking jerk.
It's just like deer, man.
It's Mogwai.
It's just Mogwai.
But so now we get the new batch.
The new batch. Yep.
And they decided for this one, since they were going with this more lighthearted idea of the film, they each have their own personality. They're all different, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Brad, can you tell us like what are the characteristics of the new Mogwai?
The characteristics. One, you have this absolutely bananas one whose like eyes are spinning around and just laughing hysterically without stopping, without even taking a breath.
Reminds you of Woody Woodpecker, right?
Sure. Yeah. Woo, 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 woo. Kind of all over the place. And then you have this kind of, I'm trying to think of a duo, right? A comedy duo. You have the kind of the Moe and Curly, or, kind of two gremlins that are, the one is always hurting the other by accident, but one's the leader kind of thing. And then you have the new evil Mogwai, Mohawk.
Yep. Who looks like a skunk.
Who looks like a skunk. Yeah.
He looks straight up like a skunk.
Yep.
but yeah, you do have there's like kind of the one that I always thought was kind of like goofy, but I think they actually I think you actually, I don't know if it was accidental or not, but you hit it where like two of them were named like Mo and Larry, and they were supposed to have that
They're like
kind of thing.
stooges, yeah.
But the one they made, the one that I assume is supposed to be Mo, they made him look like Edward G. Robinson.
Yes.
With the downturned mouth and everything.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you feel like he's getting like,
Yeah, right. Right.
But yeah, so they all have these different personalities. That was one of the things that they wanted to make sure that they like differentiated between, that each one was its own little creature. And immediately these new Mogwai jail Gizmo.
Oh yeah, yep.
And now this is where one of the like little miscommunications happen. So Billy's asked Kate to go get Gizmo. He's got to go to a meeting, an after work meeting.
A meeting, Kyle.
With Marla.
Real quick on the meeting with Marla. I found it very, very funny, and I hope it was supposed to be a joke. That what kind of restaurant, what kind of food did they decide to get? Where did they go?
They went to this great little Canadian place that I know.
They went to a Canadian restaurant.
It's a Canadian themed restaurant.
It's a Canadian themed restaurant, which is just hilarious. And the waiter is like dressed like a Mountie.
They're all Mounties. Everything is taxidermied.
Yes, everything's taxidermied. All the fucking beer mugs are like logs. You know what I mean? And the chocolate mousse is like a giant chocolate mousse head. Yeah. So I just found it very, very
antler?
funny. Yeah, right. I just found it very funny that they went to a Canadian restaurant. Like it could have just easily have been, they could have done no joke there. Like there didn't need to be a joke. They could have just gone to any kind of restaurant, but they decided to just throw that in there, and I thought it was brilliant.
And the funny part is, Marla has brought him here for the sole reason, the only reason she's showing any interest in Billy at all is because Daniel Clamp showed interest in Billy. Right. Daniel Clamp saw Billy's designs for the new Chinatown complex.
And hated her improvements that she wanted him to make on it, right?
Right.
She told him to put the trees in, and then he was like, "Ooh, I don't know. I don't like those trees."
John Glover is brilliant in this movie. His portrayal of Daniel Clamp actually made them change the character. Originally, he was supposed to be the villain of the movie. But John Glover brought this, he basically thought of him as like this disconnected, a guy who really wants to do good.
Yeah.
But all he really knows how to do is make money.
Right.
And he's trying to figure out, how can I make a lot of money and do good, but he's completely disconnected from everything surrounding that task.
Right. I just look he's like charming. Like he's a charming kind of guy because he's a great example is he's alone in his office and he's just spinning around because he's all by himself. He's got nothing to do. He's got no work to do, right? Because everything is just running under him.
He's like, let's do some memos.
He's like, ooh, let's do some memos. By the way, I have to ask, if you're leaving politics out of it, I am sure that Donald Trump's office is a lot more comfortable than that. Right? It was like this metal, sterile, modern design that was like, that's your office. Like, why do you want to, that's no fun. I don't want to come to work every day and go to that office. That office sucks.
I think that there's some level, if we want to really get into the artistry of the thing.
We got time, cinema. Kyle. Yep.
So I really think that the building itself number one, the Clamp building inside looks like if you took a DeLorean and turned it into a building, right?
Yep.
It's all steel and gray and weird angles. It looks like a DeLorean inside. And I think that it's a reflection, especially the office, is a reflection of Daniel Clamp's own internal world. Like, I don't think there's a whole lot going on there.
Right.
You know? And so, like, all his ideas are, which everyone just says yes to because he's got so much money. So no one's ever questioned, like, when he says, hey, why don't we make this look like this? And everybody's like, that sounds great, sir.
Right. But he acts like he got the money from his dad and he just doesn't know what to do with it. So he made a building and was like, let's put this in here and let's make this. And
I think it's one of those things where, like, when it comes to, the real estate, moving money, all that kind of stuff, it's like I don't want to say, like, I'm not going to sit here and try and say that Daniel Clamp is on any kind of spectrum, but it's like when it comes to when it comes to that stuff, he's like amazing. So I think he just made money hand over fist, and it was like no big deal. Yeah. Like, I just know how to do this. Then when it comes to, like, matters of emotional things, like, it shows how awkward he is talking to the people that work for him. Like, he doesn't know how to relate at all.
Well, it's like they're, but he's like a big child.
Yeah. Yeah. And so then when he sees, like, Billy's designs and sees something that actually has emotional depth in the artistry to it, that's why he's like, oh, wow, kid, these are great. I want you to make everything look like this. This is amazing. He knows how to sell things. He knows how to do that. He doesn't know how to, like, put any, I don't know if he knows where in himself he would have to go to put himself into anything.
Right.
Like, he doesn't know where that is.
Right. Yeah.
And, but he plays it off so well. Like, and that's what he brought to the character, that they then had to, like, change the character and kind of change the dynamics with Robert Picardo's character and everything, so it's sort of like, which there's even little subtle lines that a lot of the decisions he didn't want to be bothered with necessarily. So he let Robert Picardo make a lot of decisions as, like, his kind of right-hand guy. And, so when, like, they mentioned the Splice of Life, how the Gremlins got into the Splice of Life lab and
could have had 2 plastic surgeons in there.
Yeah. He's like, I could have had 2 plastic surgeons and a dentist in there or something like that. He's like, and he's like, I told you that was a bad idea.
Right.
But he let him do it. Robert Picardo said, no, this is going to be great. And so he let him put it in there.
Right.
So it's, but he just does such a great job. He's like, and it's one of those things where he's like, Billy introduced himself and he's like, it's sort of that classic, you immediately like him. You immediately like Daniel Clamp because when he meets Billy and Billy goes, hey, what's your name? And he goes, Billy Peltzer. And then Billy realizes Billy sounds really stupid.
Yeah.
So William. And he goes, hey, Bill. Yeah, Bill, I love this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we're about to, in this part, we're also going to get another great cameo from somebody from the Burbs who plays the security guard that tries to arrest Billy for turning off the water in the building.
The one and only Rick Dukeman himself.
Rick Dukeman comes in, does a favor for Joe Dante, has this little 5-second part.
Really quick with the gun, though, wasn't he? I mean, like,
he immediately
Jesus Christ, he pulled the gun out. I'm like, what the fuck? He pulled. He comes in with the gun.
Well,
maybe we're not being fair enough. Billy did have an axe.
He did. He was trying.
But he was clearly just trying to. But he's, So maybe he should have pulled out the gun. Yeah, maybe he was right. Okay.
Now, and basically all this whole sort of like there's a bit of a domino effect that happens. Like we talked about how Gizmo gets wet, the new batch pops out, they imprison Gizmo in the air ducts in the building, and then there's a mistake that happens. Billy's off having his dinner with Marlo, where she tries to put the moves on him.
Yep.
And he has asked Kate to go get Gizmo out of his cubicle and take him home. So Kate shows up. Now, you have to imagine that Kate didn't really get a lot of the quality time with Gizmo that Billy did. Because who is it that Kate discovers?
Well, and also to be fair, they put Gizmo in the vent. So Gizmo is not even in the vicinity. So it was the Woody Woodpecker style Mogwai that she mistook for Gizmo and took him home instead.
Right. And so they end up, they're like, oh my God, when Billy finally gets home and discovers it, he's like, oh my God, like something's wrong. They go back. It's already been after the Clamp building is open 24/7.
Yep.
Like the retail area in the bottom floor is open 24/7. And so they show up and it's already after midnight. They know like they've got to be, we're in trouble. Like they've got to be turning into gremlins by now. We got to shut off the water, you know. And it's all this like series of unfortunate events that happen where they're already metamorphosizing.
Yep.
And Rick Dukeman arrests Billy and he's held overnight, doesn't get out till the next morning. What's in front of the police station?
Oh, good. I'm glad because I wrote it down too. The mimes getting out of the paddy wagon was hilarious.
Why the hell was a whole gaggle of mimes?
I don't. Is it a gaggle? It's a gaggle.
I think that's official. That's an official gaggle.
How many is in a gaggle? I asked this before. You said gaggle before.
12, I think.
12 in the gaggle.
12 mimes. But yeah, there's all kinds of moments. I will totally concede, even though, you know, this is such a departure from the original film, and I like the original film so much, I will totally concede that this movie is amazingly entertaining.
Like yes, it is very much so. But
just to go back,
this is what I mean. So if I want to watch Gremlins, I watch this one.
When I got to mention to briefly go back for a second, talking about Dr. Catheter and Christopher Lee and his delivery of all the lines. I had one that I wrote down where he gets a package delivery. Julia Sweeney gives him the package, and he goes, "This must be my malaria." And he goes, "Oh, just rabies."
I've already got rabies.
I mean, it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
Now, I will say I was kind of disappointed in the gremlin cocoons in this one. They're less scary. They're less like.
Are they?
They looked like they were just covered with like just a white goop instead of the snot.
Why are they covered with school?
Yeah, it was like in the first one, it was more like a snot, like a sticky snot.
Well,
and in this one, it was more like just a goo.
Yeah. Okay. I think you're trying to just find something wrong with the movie because you know this might be the superior movie.
Yeah. Now I love. We're getting now. Kate is one of the tour guides, right? Billy is in the design department.
Yep.
Kate is one of the tour guides, and she's leading a tour now. They still have to do their jobs, and she's leading a tour through the television studios. And this is where I think they borrow a little bit from like movies like UHF, because as they're going through, we know that they have the Grandpa Fred show, but then they have the archery channel where a guy dressed like Robin Hood comes walking out and breaks his arrows. Yes. And then
Yeah.
we get to the set of what is a great commentary on the 90s, Microwave
Wave
with Marge,
Yep.
where she only makes dishes
Tuna
that you
chowder noodle. Yeah. She is
can make
hammered.
in a microwave.
Yep.
And that's it. And the idea is she makes the real thing on the stove
Yeah.
and then shows you how she made it in the microwave, and it comes out just as good.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
But yeah, meanwhile she's getting drunk on
she's adding
cooking
alcohol.
sherry.
She's adding cooking sherry. Yeah, and she's drinking it herself. So.
And they do have a great moment, kind of cut as they cut back and forth between Billy's kind of storyline and Kate's storyline, because now the Gremlins are out. All hell's going to break loose. And Billy is trying to tell the head of security and all the security folks that are in charge of watching the monitors and the cameras and everything. He's trying to tell them about the threat of the Gremlins. And they're asking what kind of questions?
Oh, they're just being sarcastic. They're just, they're making fun of them, because they're asking like questions like, well, if he eats at 11 o'clock and then it's past midnight and a sesame seed that was caught in his teeth falls out and he swallows it. Now he didn't eat after midnight, and he's like, so
yeah, and it was. Oh, go ahead. Go
no,
ahead.
No, they're just they're just making fun of him and kind of torturing him, and so yeah, that's all.
Yeah, it was literally they decided to put in all of the questions that they got asked after the first one. Like Archie Hahn, the one character actor that plays one of the security guys, he's like, it's got to be midnight somewhere. He's like, was it just in this time zone?
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's like, what constitutes midnight?
Right.
I
think it's supposed to be midnight wherever they are.
Well, but it's like all the kind of like the idea that there are these rules, and Billy gets told the rules in the first one and just takes them on face value.
Right.
But now it's New York City. These are, slightly more erudite, not erudite, but like, New Yorkers are a little more street smart, and they're like, well, wait a second. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
After midnight. Well, what happens if he wakes up in the morning and eats breakfast? That's after midnight.
Yeah, technically it's after midnight.
So
yeah, well, it's all fun and games until a gremlin comes out of the machinery and attacks you.
Yeah, now they
he just
they end
punches
up
them.
Yeah. And they end up the gremlins that attack the Microwave with Marge set end up creating a fire.
Yep.
And the fire does what?
Sets off the sprinklers.
Which immediately, now we actually get to see, we saw in the first movie what happens when Mogwai get wet.
Yeah.
And the little puffballs come out.
Yeah.
What happens when gremlins get wet?
Well, they're more gremlins. So lots and lots of gremlins.
But they form in like these little...
They're like bubbles, like in their back.
Like pustules.
Like, yeah.
And they're little tiny baby gremlins.
Yep.
That sort of like xenomorphs from Aliens. Like they grow exponentially as soon as they hatch out of their backs.
Right. Yep.
It's sort of like it's like there's a frog that does that, right? There's a frog that like the babies like develop in the back.
I am unaware of this frog. You might be right. I don't know. I'm not an expert on frogs.
Let me I got to Google this now.
No, you're going to Google this now?
Frog gives birth from back. Here we go. The Suriname toad. The Suriname toad gives birth through its back. Yeah. The fertilized eggs burrow under the female's skin and turn, like they basically go through the tadpole to toadlet phase in underneath the mother toad's skin, and then they hatch and come out as little toadlets. That's how gremlins are born from other gremlins.
Tadpoles are toads aquatic?
Yeah.
Toads?
Well, I mean, but toads go through a tadpole stage, don't they?
Do they? Frogs
I think they do. I think they do.
All right. Well, we can't make this show about toads and frogs.
just googling.
Just
Googling
yeah. Until the rest of the show, it's just us challenging each other over toad biology and just googling everything. Yeah.
Welcome back to Kyle and Brad with Frogs and Toads.
Yep.
Good times. Good times.
After this, though, I am immediately looking it up.
But so, and Brad, in biology, that's called what? Asexual reproduction.
Oh.
Asexual reproduction.
All right.
Brad, have you noticed, we were speaking of Daniel Clamp and his office.
Uh-huh.
So,
did I notice what was on in the background?
No, I was going to say, if you had
Did you notice what was on in the background?
No, I know. It's a Wonderful Life.
So passive, so dismissive. It's
like how high would you estimate? How tall would you estimate the Clamp building is?
30 stories, 40 stories.
Daniel Clamp's office, which is I would assume top floor, right?
Yeah,
it's above the clouds.
Oh, is it?
When you look out the windows, he is up above the clouds.
Oh, wow.
There are clouds below his window. And he's got a telescope.
They do go through a tadpole stage. No, they are aquatic. The reproduction does happen, and then they hop on land.
You've heard that, listeners. Update on Brad and Kyle.
I had to find out. I'm sorry, guys. That was gonna bother me for the rest of the show. So now we can move on.
But so the gremlins reproduce, and like initially we just get like regular old bullshit gremlins, right? They're just like a bunch of like
bullshit
most of like
gremlins.
Most of the gremlins that come out of the backs of like the core. What, 4? There's 4, I think. The gremlins that come out of them are just other like standard gremlins. It's not until they eventually get into the genetics lab that
even the ones that don't get into the genetics lab kind of develop personalities. They just have the like the secretary, like when Clamp first comes in contact,
and he's
got A, B, C, D, E, stuff like that. There's just like the gremlins have their personalities, but yeah, you have a group that got into the genetics, and now you get the brain, right? So you get Tony Randall because they drank the brain formula. Mohawk drinks the spider formula. And turns into a giant gremlin spider.
The first one though is which one?
It's the bat gremlin.
No, the very first one that changes.
Oh, the vegetable medley.
Yeah, he drank. There's a guy working on how to produce, like how to genetically alter plants to produce more fruits and vegetables.
Well, to make them easier to ship.
Yeah, because he makes like rubber tomatoes or something.
Right. Well, it's so they don't get damaged during shipping.
Yeah. And he goes, "Oh no, he's drinking my vegetable medley."
Yeah, right.
And he starts growing tomatoes and peppers and the whole bit.
Yeah.
There's the one little thing is we like to talk about special effects, and of course this one is full of your standard like the puppets like they had in the original, although the puppets in this one, Rick Baker and the team that worked on them did make them more advanced. They actually scaled them up in size a little bit. So like they basically decided like the audience probably won't notice. We're going to make Gizmo just a little bit larger. We're going to make the Gremlins just a little bit larger, just all across the board, so that we can do all the puppet things and animatronic things that we want to do with them.
Yep.
Whereas in the first one, they had to kind of keep cutting back and forth between like three times as large, up close puppets, and then the small puppets for far away.
Yeah.
And there's a great part where Daniel Clamp becomes aware of the fact that there are these creatures. He gets attacked by the secretary gremlin.
Yep.
And they did like a very standard thing. They as he's getting attacked and he's wrestling with the gremlin is being puppeted by John Glover.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's a fake arm attached to his suit.
Yeah.
Holding onto the gremlin.
Yeah.
And then he's making the gremlin do all the snapping at him and everything else.
Yeah.
And biting his other hand and the whole bit.
Awesome.
And so there's a lot of that going, but a lot of the great puppet work and animatronic work that we're supposedly going to see again in the third
Gremlins
one.
3. Yeah.
That's supposed to be coming out next year.
I don't know how you can top the new batch, Kyle. That's
I
think a tall order.
I think. Well, and although with Chris Columbus, which now there's a bit of a correction, there's some discrepancy. Steven Spielberg probably not directing it. It's probably gonna be Chris Columbus writing and directing, with Steven Spielberg
that's fine.
Still closely involved producing.
Chris Columbus did Home Alone, so I'm
Chris Columbus will do an amazing job with it.
Yep.
But with Chris Columbus, I have a feeling it's going to possibly go a little more. They'll probably keep some of the comedy, but tilt a little more back to horror.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm watching the part now where the brain gremlin is about to be born.
So Joe Dante's not involved in that at all, huh?
No.
Ooh,
no,
I don't know
not from what I read. Not from what I read. Like I said, I mean, he's still kind of that cloud of Looney Tunes back in action still hangs heavy. Brendan Fraser has been the only one. Like Dean Cundey got a couple of television episodes on The Mandalorian, but Brendan Fraser's been the only one to really make like a full-blown comeback from that whole thing. Yeah. But
Fraser.
Sorry. Fraser. Yeah, Fraser.
Not Fraser.
Yeah. Yeah. Get it right.
Fraser.
But put some respect on that.
Oh, I am.
But Brad, I want you to tell the listeners, like, because this is your baby here. I don't want to talk the whole time. We're
gonna have to talk for about a half hour.
What are your feelings on the brain gremlin? Like what about
him. I absolutely fucking love him.
Tell us about it,
Tony. Well, so he drinks the brain formula, and he's not. So it's interesting because now you kind of have like two leaders of the Gremlins. Like you always thought that Mohawk was kind of maybe the leader of the Gremlins in this one, and then you have the brain gremlin. So now he's the one who talks. So like he's kind of directing a lot of things too, right? He's at the center of attention, So Tony Randall does a brilliant job. It's completely ridiculous. He's like this kind of brilliant, sophisticated gremlin, and he's the best. He's probably the best part of the movie.
Yeah, I think you almost like when they were probably brainstorming and spitballing this. This is just, I have no confirmation for this, nothing to back this up. But I just noticed, I'm watching it, when he is about to inject the sun the sunblock alteration
Yeah.
into the Bat Gremlin,
Yeah.
and they're wondering what is going to happen, and the two twin scientists lean forward with their rubber gloved hands and they start stroking their chins, and over their shoulders are two gremlins dressed just like them who also lean forward
and stroking
their chins. It's a small little moment, but I just fucking noticed it, and it's fucking hilarious.
That's what I mean. This is the movie that keeps on giving. Every time you watch it,
I never noticed that before.
Every time you watch this movie, there's a joke that you didn't see. So yeah,
but I have to imagine when they were brainstorming the plot of the movie, they thought, well, if we're going to do this whole thing with the genetics lab and everything, we have to get one of these gremlins talking. Like, one of them has to all of a sudden be able to communicate, because it just adds a different layer to the movie.
Right. Yep.
You know? And of course, then the brain gremlin is the one that starts beginning to hatch their whole plan for escaping the building.
Yeah.
You know, he's kind of putting together the whole, while Mohawk is just terrorizing.
Right.
The brain gremlin is actually organizing.
Mohawk is obsessed with Gizmo.
Yeah.
So like he spends most of the movie just torturing Gizmo. So he's detached from almost the rest of the gremlins. He's not kind of in with the rest of them. He's kind of on the side, just getting his own revenge.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's kind of a weird thing. It seems like they went with like this kind of unspoken theme that one of the newly hatched Mogwai sort of always have to have it out for. It's almost like a little bit of a I have to wonder if he stole it from Frankenstein, because there is that reference to Frankenstein in the Chinese characters of Mr. Wing's shop in the first one.
Yeah.
The Gods and Monsters reference. So I wonder if Joe Dante, for whatever reason, didn't just work that into the themes of the film, that like the creation is always like goes against the creator.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Just a thought. Maybe I struck something that maybe nobody ever thought of before. Who knows?
Maybe you did.
I wouldn't give myself that much credit, but maybe.
And they throw another like little fun joke in when so after the sunblock gets injected into the Bat Gremlin, he flies out of the building and he just crashes through the wall and leaves what?
The bat symbol, the Batman symbol.
The Batman symbol. That's just funny.
Yeah, and actually that was something that they worked in because Joe Dante wanted to add in like little digs at Warner Brothers and things like that, because he wanted this to be a parody of the whole sequel experience. And one of the things that Joe Dante has said in interviews is that he actually thinks that they held the movie. He thinks there are two factors that he identifies as major parts to why the movie didn't do well in the theater. Mm-hmm. One was the time. 6 years from original to sequel is a lot.
Yes.
But also, they specifically held up the movie. They put the movie out in theaters. They picked like a really bad weekend to do it. It wasn't like the prime. They put it out and they put it up against like big movies. There were like some big movies that came out at the same time as this, and they think that Warner Brothers specifically held it and put it out when there was stronger competition, because there were factors within Warner Brothers that did not want any movie to challenge the box office record that had been hit when Batman came out. because Batman like blew away the box office record.
Sure. Yeah. Yep.
And so Warner Brothers, Joe Dante has said that there were some elements at Warner Brothers that were very protective of Batman being their flagship brand. And if Gremlins the New Batch came out and did even close to what Batman did, that would be a big problem for certain people at Warner Brothers. So he thinks those two things set them up to fail a little bit.
Sabotage.
It's sabotage.
I mean, I like Batman, but
that's what Joe Dante said in the interview. He said, "I
believe
couldn't
him.
stand it.
I love
He said,
Batman.
I couldn't stand it. I know they planned it." Now, I will say that this movie does not shy away from getting a little risque.
Because... are we getting into the female gremlin?
Well, no.
Oh, okay.
So, one of your favorite. What is your? I'm just guessing. Probably your favorite moment in the film, because you mentioned
my favorite moment in the film.
Times.
My favorite moment in the film is when all of a sudden the screen goes out, and you get the gremlins coming behind the screen, and they're making shadow puppets. That part, and then they make a shadow puppet into like Lincoln's head.
Lincoln with the top hat.
The full top hat.
And you hear him going, "Fourscore."
Right. And then the Gremlins changed the movie to volleyball holiday.
But it's Sun Worshippers Volleyball Holiday, which is a nudist film.
Yes.
It is nude women playing volleyball. It's black and white. It's like an old 50s movie, a nudist movie.
Yeah.
Scandalous.
Yeah. And so what are they to do, Kyle? There's gremlins in the projector. So the projectionist comes down and he's complaining to the manager, and the mother comes out with her son and she's complaining to the manager, and she says, "You got to do something." And he says, "There's gremlins in the projector."
Which, did you notice? So there's background lore to this, just to cut you off for 1 second. The projectionist. So once upon a time, there was a guy working at a gas station, and unbeknownst to the owner of the gas station, he made a deal with a struggling inventor and bought all these smokeless ashtrays off of the inventor to sell in the store. When the manager found out about this, he was very upset. He couldn't believe that he spent money on such a stupid thing they were never going to sell. And so he fired that guy, said, "You're done here. You're not working at the gas station anymore. I want you out." That guy moved to New York City, and after searching a while for a job, he finally found one as a projectionist at a movie theater. The projectionist is the same guy, the same actor as the gas station attendant who buys the smokeless ashtray off of Rand Peltzer.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. So the projectionist and the mom are complaining to the manager, and he's like, "Enough. I've had enough. I will handle this." And so there's a lot going on here, because he finds one audience member that can do something about the gremlins in the projector, and that man is the Hulkster himself, Mr. Hulk Hogan. What cracks me up, so you're distracted completely by the fact that it's Hulk Hogan and he's about to speak, especially when you're my age, because I was 11 years old. Hulk Hogan was God. And so it was so exciting to have him in the movie. But when I go back and watch this as an adult, what I find the best part is the manager Hulk Hogan is 6'8" and 300 pounds. He wears a bright red bandana and a bright red shirt, and he kind of sticks out in the crowd. However, the manager feels he needs the flashlight, in the movie theater in order to locate Hulk Hogan. Like, you don't need the flashlight to locate Hulk Hogan. I just thought it was very funny. He's like going row by row, right? And he doesn't notice that the 6'8", 300-pound dude is like 3 rows in front of him, So I found that hilarious. But Hulk Hogan stands up, gives them the business, and says, "Look, guys, cut it out." And, rips his shirt off because that's what he does. And then, challenges them. Can the Gremsters stand up to the Hulkster? So I think the Gremlins felt like, we don't want to mess with the Hulkster.
They relented.
They relented and they put the movie back on.
Yeah.
Yeah. The best part of the movie. 100%. Yep. I mean, there's a lot of great parts to this movie. Just we're coming upon now the Electric Gremlin.
Right.
But it's joke after joke after joke. Like,
they wrote it as a...
Yeah, it's very
it's
very slapstick. It's very sketchy. Right after the Hulk Hogan thing, they go right into one gremlin throws the acid in the guy's face, and he immediately puts the Phantom of the Opera mask up and just starts laughing. And it's, oh my god!
Well, I think that's got to be like a New York joke, because the fact that Phantom of the Opera is like at that. I think during this time, like, Phantom was like the longest running musical on Broadway. Like, I think it had topped Cats by then or something.
Yeah.
So it's like there's all these little jokes about New York culture, about Hollywood culture, about, movies themselves, the whole bit. And yeah, it's hilarious. And there's that. Then of course we get the female gremlin.
Yeah, the female gremlin.
Gremlin drinks the female hormone.
Yep.
And gets like big lips and the booty and the boobs.
Gets the hots
the long
for
green hair.
Has the hots for Forster.
Hair. Yeah, it actually reminds me if you had like a gremlin version of like She-Hulk. That's what.
Yes.
That's what that gremlin looks like.
Very much so. Yep.
Oh, and we got to talk.
Christopher Lee has a locker full of automatic weapons.
Yeah, he's like, it can drop a Puma at 50 feet. Yeah, Christopher Lee, like his character, Dr. Catheter, bites it in like a horrible way. Like, like Dr. Catheter, like I would say, I'm sure some people would probably consider Dr. Catheter a villain. But
he comes to the realization he was just obsessed with science. He's very Dr. Frankenstein, just obsessed.
Right.
And it turns on him, right? He feels it's all coming back on him, right?
Again, Frankenstein.
Again, Frankenstein. Yep. So he realizes that there are just some things men weren't meant to splice.
Yep. And so yeah, he tries to correct, what he's done, and tries to get the guns, and of course, then he gets his hand. He reaches in and pulls his hand out, and there's a gremlin clamped down on his arm.
Yep.
And then he gets electrocuted by the electric gremlin,
right,
and dies this horrible death. And then Mohawk, he tries to. We talked about all the gags. Mohawk ends up getting a hold of one of the Uzis and shoots at Billy. Billy has to run.
He also
and then it cuts.
Oh, I'm sorry, but yeah, he also quite humorously ties Gizmo to the train tracks and hits him with the train. It's just very funny. So,
but he shoots at Billy, and when it cuts back to there's gremlins drinking like milk.
Yeah.
And the milk starts
and
spraying
got the bullet holes.
It's
holes. It just becomes like again, it's almost like watching a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Yep.
So.
And there's like you said, Brad, there's all these great little moments to go back a step. When all hell is breaking loose, everything is going crazy. People all through the concourse, The retail concourse are getting attacked by gremlins.
Mm-hmm.
The guy from Foot Locker is like writhing on the floor covered in gremlins.
Yeah.
And it shows they have a stock exchange in the Clamp building, and they're all like buying, and they're like, buy. There's 2 gremlins.
Buy,
sell. And then it cuts to the brain gremlin, and I wrote this line down. He's like, we've been telling everybody to put everything in canned food and shotguns.
Canned food and shotguns. Oh my God. Yeah.
But yeah, all hell is breaking loose. And they hatch a plan, Brad. What's plan A?
Well, plan A is it's still the afternoon, right? So Billy's like, okay, why don't we turn all the clocks ahead? Because when it gets, as soon as the sun goes down, they're going to escape into the city, right? Because sunlight kills them, right? So they can't be out there in the day. So they have to keep themselves in the building. But as soon as the sun goes down, they're going to be all over the city. That's the fear. So it's still the afternoon. We turn all the clocks ahead, make them think.
Because all the clocks are controllable in the Clamp building.
Right, that's right. And make them think that it's much later than it is. And Clamp has to get like this giant tarp, that has the night sky. So if they look out the window, they see night sky. And then what they were going to do is get them all to gather in the lobby. And they were going to have that big tapestry, and they were going to drop it of the night sky, and then they were going to drop it and let the sunlight go through and fry them.
Yeah,
and,
so that's plan A. So, and Clamp is excited. Daniel Clamp,
because he's the plan.
He loves this plan.
Yep,
he loves this plan. He's glad to be a part of it. He finally gets to use his escape hatch.
Yep, which is awesome.
Yeah, there's a tree in front of Clamp Tower, and the tree starts to lift up, and it's like a little phone booth in the sidewalk.
Right.
And there's Clamp standing inside of it.
Right.
But they hatch this whole plan, and meanwhile, Gizmo, like we mentioned the first one, I wasn't sure, like Gizmo driving the Barbie car, did that affect the outcome of the first film in any way, shape, or form?
I don't think so, right? No. Did it?
Right.
He drove it, and then it just crashed. And
yeah. Now, Gizmo's plan in this one does have a slightly more substantial effect, but still a very small part of the overall.
Well, yeah, the solution comes from Billy. Right, so Billy's the hero of the movie.
Gizmo, what is Gizmo? What's he doing?
Gizmo
this
gets
entire time.
Okay, well, Gizmo's been tortured by Mohawk almost the entire movie, so he finally gets loose, and he's had enough. He's had it up to here, okay, and he recalls. He's been watching a lot of Rambo. Lately. And so he recalls Rambo, and he starts training 80s montage style. Quite hilariously, quite adorably, with like little weights, and he's in a little gym, and one arm
lifts.
Yeah, he falls to the floor, and it's funny. And then
because Brad,
sorry.
If you want to survive a war,
you got to become more. That's right.
That becomes his mantra.
Yep.
Yeah. And what else does he do? He begins to fashion.
So he makes his own. Again, he's going through the training montage, but he gets a little headband, and he takes a paper clip and he undoes the paper clip and ties a rubber band to it, so he has a nice bow and arrow.
Yeah, because it's one of those triangular ones.
Well, he just undoes it so that it comes out. Well, yeah, right. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And then, he ties a rubber band to it, so he's got a nice little bow and arrow. And then he has the pencil arrow with the medicine bottle on it. And he has the cotton in it, and he lights it on fire, and he fires it into Mohawk. So.
Yeah. So his plan in this one was a little bit more effective.
It was personal. It was personal. It was his own personal revenge. He had his own story in this one.
This was Mogwai Vendetta.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And they have the great moment where Grandpa Fred gets to interview the brain gremlin.
Yep. Because we haven't talked much about Grandpa Fred. So Grandpa Fred at this point, Grandpa Fred is the horror host, as we mentioned earlier, but he always had dreams of becoming like a news anchor, right? That's what he wanted to be. He wanted to be Walter Cronkite. And so he is inside the building and he gets inside the control room and he starts turning on all the broadcasts and he understands that all the reporting going on outside, none of the reporters can get inside the building to do a live report from where the action's taking place. But guess who can? He can. So he finds the stereotype that is... What's the character's name?
Mr. Katsuji.
Mr. Katsuji. Finds Mr. Katsuji and asks him if he knows how to operate a camera. And Mr. Katsuji says,
I am a camera.
I am the camera. So he gets him to videotape him and he starts broadcasting live on TV on the Clamp network
on
CCN, and the Gremlins are all doing his makeup. He's trying to sit down to do an interview, and you just see the Gremlin hand come up behind Fred and start doing his
powdering his
TV
cheek,
makeup.
Yep, I love it.
Yeah.
And there's going back to like weird references. There's a moment here right after the interview with the brain gremlin where the gremlins have captured Billy and tied him up. They realized he was up to something, up to no good, and he's in of course it's the Clamp building, so there is a dentist office there.
Oh yeah.
And the Woody Woodpecker gremlin is about to drill into Billy's teeth.
Yeah.
And the gremlin says, "Is it safe?"
Right. Is it safe?
Which is a reference to Marathon Man.
Dustin Hoffman,
Laurence
right?
Olivier. Yeah, Dustin Hoffman and Laurence Olivier. Laurence Olivier thinks that Dustin Hoffman is a secret agent.
Right.
And that he's taken this like microfilm or some shit. And they call Laurence Olivier's character the dentist because that's what he used to be once upon a time. And that's how he tortures people.
Yeah.
And so he keeps, as he's drilling into Dustin Hoffman's teeth, he keeps asking him, "Is it safe?" And Dustin Hoffman's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And he drills more into "Is it safe?"
Yeah.
So they just throw a Marathon Man reference in there for no reason.
Nope.
But I will say Mohawk is fucking terrifying. Like the spider Mohawk.
Spider Mohawk is scary. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It almost seems that like that bottle of whiteout or whatever that Gizmo shoots at him should not have created the fireball.
Well, you had the webbing there, didn't you?
Yeah, the webbing catches.
So that's all gonna catch on fire. So I think that's why.
And Brad, before we get to the end of the whole thing, we got to mention. So the first one takes place at Christmas, and we had our argument about whether or not it's a Christmas movie or not. This one takes place on a holiday too, doesn't it?
Is it Lincoln's birthday?
It's Lincoln's birthday.
Yeah, because Phoebe Cates does the Lincoln starts to do the Lincoln's birthday speech. Something. Oh
yeah.
Don't mention Lincoln's birthday. Something terrible has happened on Lincoln's birthday. She just goes into that long-winded speech like she did in the first one, but in this one. The Zach Galligan's like, no, we don't know. Hold on, no, we gotta go. Like, no.
Yeah, she's like, we had the day off from school.
Yeah,
she said, don't mention Lincoln. Something terrible happened to me one year on Lincoln's birthday.
Right.
I was 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I had the day off from school. Mama let me go to the park.
Right.
She made me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
I was going through a phase. It's like, no. She's like, this man with a beard. The man with a beard looked just like
he had
Abe
a
Lincoln.
hat, and he's like just like Abe Lincoln. Yeah. That was beautiful. It's so funny that they threw that in there.
Oh yeah.
You know, I love that Joe Dante brought that back, because the first one was like a serious speech, right? It was like a serious, authentic speech. So I love the fact that it just goes to like your point earlier how Joe Dante was like, it's ridiculous that we're even doing a sequel to this. So let me bring back something from the first one and one of the serious parts and just make a joke out of it.
Yeah, and Joe Dante, like, it's truly meta. Like the movie is truly a meta movie, because it's Joe Dante and the writer Mr. Haas, like, realizing that they're in those 6 years since the first one, there are so many things about the movie, like the rules, like Phoebe Cates's Christmas story, all those things that already, even at that time, fans of the first film were like, yeah, that's ridiculous. This is, it's stuff that they had heard going around.
Right. Yep.
About their movie, and they're like, yeah, let's throw everything in. Yes, we're going to make fun of Phoebe Cates' story. Yes, we're going to make fun of the rules. Yes, we're going to, and it was just like, we're not going to hold our first movie so precious that we're not willing to go there on this one. Like, we can't have any special little feelings about the first movie. We just need to, if it's funny, we're going to do it.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And to the point where they end up having a musical number.
Oh, it was so good. Oh my God. Yeah. The musical number, and, start spreading the news, and, just a great way to cap it off. It was a great finale for the Gremlins. It's a great way to go. Great way to go out.
One gremlin is reading Dining After Midnight in New York. Another gremlin has, it's supposed to be like Ghostbusters, but it's Gizmo with the crossed out symbol.
Right.
He's wearing a little T-shirt. One gremlin's getting a tattoo of the Warner Brothers logo on his chest. Like, they really just by the end of the movie, they're like, we're pulling all the stops. Right. This is going to be crazy. Yeah. The Phantom of the Opera gremlin is actually reenacting the unmasking scene from Phantom of the Opera,
and looks like Lon Chaney.
Yeah,
like they around the eyes and stuff like that. They made the gremlin look like the Phantom
he's got
of the
a little
Opera.
Nose, big wide eyes. Yep. And so Plan A fails.
Why does Plan A fail? Why? Kyle?
No one checked the weather.
No one checked the weather, of course. So, unfortunately, the clouds start rolling in, and it's cloudy and rainy. So there's no sun to harm the gremlins. So now they got to think of something else.
Well, and so earlier in the film, so the Electric Gremlin had killed Christopher Lee.
Yes.
And it escaped into the electrical wires in the building, and then attempted to kill Daniel Clamp. What does Billy do to save Clamp from the Electric Gremlin?
Billy, sucked the electrical gremlin into the phone system and then slammed it down and put him on hold. So he was in the phone system, and he's on hold, and he's going nuts.
And he's listening to the
music, and he's got his hands over his ears, like, fuck this. This music is terrible. Yeah.
So Billy gets word that Plan A has failed, and so he's like, okay, Plan B. He has Mr. Futterman, who's made his way into the building through Clamp's escape hatch,
Right.
turn on the water hose,
Yep.
which Murray Futterman, he has no idea what the hell Billy's thinking, but when Billy says do it, I do it.
Okay, Billy. I sure hope you know what you're doing.
Yeah. And then he ends up having Phoebe Cates transfer the call
Yep.
from Clamp's office down to the lobby.
Yep.
And he unleashes the electric gremlin on the now soaking wet. There's supposed to be like thousands of gremlins in that lobby.
Right.
And he releases the electric gremlin, and just like Dr. Catheter, they all begin to fry.
Right.
And this, to me, is one of the most impressive, from a special effects standpoint, one of the most impressive sequences of the movie. Because you've got a combination of a few things happening here. You've got what I have to assume is some miniature work, like when they showed the big wide shots of these gremlins like twitching and everything. Then you've got puppeteering work happening. You've got the gremlins dissolving into soup.
Yep.
So you've got some of the elements on the gremlins are like slime. Some have to be wax that they're probably melting.
Yep.
Like all kinds of different techniques and combinations of things till these gremlins all just soak down into just puddles of bubbling goop, including one wearing a witch's hat.
Oh, I'm melting. I'm melting.
What a world. What a world.
Oh, my God.
And, of course, the brain gremlin is the last one to drop, still singing the last bars.
Yep.
Of
Goes
New
back
York,
to the
New
regular
York.
gremlin voice. New York. Yeah.
As his brain dissolves. And then, and I love this ending is just so good from every aspect, from the special effects of all the gremlin, from the song through the effects to then Daniel Clamp leading an armed assault team of his own security guys into the building, not being able to get through the revolving doors, either set of the revolving automatic doors, and having to come through the manual doors.
Nothing ever works.
And then he slips in
so disgusting.
He's puddle
in
of
gremlin
shit.
Yeah.
And it's great. I mean, John Glover like shines in this last scene because he sees Grandpa Fred, who he realizes has been like broadcasting the news this whole time.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait a second, we're gonna make you an anchor.
Right.
And he's like, you're gonna have to go get a change of clothes. Larry, give him a company credit card.
Yeah.
Oh, and get some sun.
Yeah. Right.
Like he thinks those are his clothes.
Right. Yeah.
That's how out of touch Daniel Clamp is. He thinks those are his clothes, and that's his complexion. He has no clue who Grandpa Fred is. No idea who Grandpa Fred. No idea he was on the payroll.
Nope.
But yeah, and then one guy discharges his weapon because one of the gremlins bubbles.
Yeah. Right.
And he's like, "It moved, sir."
Yeah.
Just the whole thing.
Yeah. I man, I just love it. It is my go-to Gremlins movie. I do appreciate the first one. Of course. And the first one's funny. Like it's not that the Gremlins aren't funny in the first one. They are, but they're not slaps. It's not like this. Like this is a whole new level. And he just went completely comedy with it and made it as crazy and as zany and threw as many jokes at this as he possibly could. And I appreciate it. So, great horror comedy. And I hope the third one is at least somewhere maybe in the middle, you know? But without Joe Dante's involvement now, I'm kind of worried that, it's and I love Chris Columbus. I obviously Home Alone was amazing, but
Yeah, there's a total possibility it's going to be a fairly large departure from this film, especially.
yep, yeah. But I'm sure it's
Now,
going to be great, and I look forward to it. But this is my go-to. If you want me to watch a Gremlins movie, I'm always going to want to watch Gremlins too.
now, would you? I think there's an argument to be made, just as a last commentary on this. I think there's an argument to be made that Daniel Clamp is the main character of this movie.
No.
Because he has the arc. He has a character arc.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In this film.
Yep.
By the end of it, he's like, nah. He goes, this wasn't a building for people, and he's got the gremlin slime on his head.
You build a building for things. Things come.
Things come. And then he sees Billy's picture. He's like, you got a piece of paper, and Billy has his picture that he made of Kingston Falls.
Right.
And he goes, what's this? He goes, no, this is what I need. This is the design. He goes, Clamp Corners, where life slows down to a crawl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then he sees Gizmo, and he's like, have you thought about merchandising?
Yeah. But Clamp and Marla, right?
Clamp and Marla get together.
They get together. Yeah. They fall in love. And it's this big, beautiful, wonderful, happy ending.
Yeah. Clamp realizes his whole philosophy's been wrong. He gets the girl.
Yeah. You're right. No, he was a standout. He's very he just dominates every scene he's in, even with Zach Galligan in him, and some of the great actors that are in this movie. Like he really, it's a fun character to play. So I'm sure if you ask him, he'll say, well, it's just such a outrageous character to play. Whereas Zach Galligan had to play Billy, and it's a little bit more of a subdued, straight character. So, but he really shines. You're right. He shines in this movie.
And we end finding out the fate of Frank Forrester
and his lovely wife,
his lovely bride, who I forget. I think there were a couple of different names they had for the female gremlin, like behind the scenes production, crew names.
Yeah.
I choose to believe that it's probably Glenda the Gremlin.
Okay.
But I heard Gremlina at one point. Somebody said Gremlina.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But yeah, it ends with their nuptials.
Yeah, so that means not all the gremlins died.
That's right. She's the female gremlin lives. Maybe she'll return in the third one.
Right. Maybe she will.
But and then of course it ends as it began, with the animated sequence of Porky Pig attempting to say "that's all, folks," but then being pushed out of the way by Daffy Duck.
Right.
Which, again, we mentioned how in the first film, Joe Dante, being such a big fan of Looney Tunes and wanting to have some of that quality to the Gremlins in the first film, had hired Chuck Jones. Chuck Jones was one of the residents of Kingston Falls.
Yeah.
Chuck Jones being one of the great writers and directors of the Looney Tunes cartoons.
Yeah, absolutely.
Chuck Jones came out of retirement to write and direct the sequences for the beginning and end of this film.
Oh, wonderful. I love Chuck Jones. Yep.
So Brad,
Kyle,
it might be a little outside of what we normally, talk about and cover.
It's a horror comedy. We covered
it's a creature feature.
It's a creature feature. It's a monster movie. We covered the first one, so why not cover the second one?
But
which is
I'm glad we did. We'll have to agree to disagree.
No, like I said in the beginning, I understand that the original is movie, I guess. This is just the more entertaining one.
I will say it's a delightful watch. Like I said, rewatching this, preparing for the episode, I laughed out loud multiple times.
Oh yeah, yep, absolutely.
I had totally forgotten about Tony Randall's Australian accent for the Brain Gremlin.
Yep.
I thought that was hilarious that he went there with that. Very, very Robin Leach. Robin Leach was big at the time on television, and so he went very Robin Leach with it.
Yeah.
But
in all the little silly jokes too, like besides the Gremlins, all the little silly jokes that are in it. Like at one point in the laboratory, again going back to the laboratory, and they're walking the cow through, and it's got the headpiece on it, and it's projecting its thoughts. It's vocalizing its thoughts, like "I love giving milk," or it's trying to feed that into the cow, like to get it to give more milk. Like, I love giving milk. And it's just like a real quick thing in the background. So, but you just got to catch it, and again going back to like the building talking, like, "Hey pal, sure hope you wash those hands." So it's just,
it has an aesthetic that I think if you had, because of that kind of Looney Tunes pedigree, just to try and put a button on it.
Yeah.
I just thought of this because of that Looney Tunes pedigree. I think that today's audiences would really appreciate a movie like this because right now one of the big popular things is the Fallout television show on Amazon, which is based on the video game series. But Fallout has a lot of that aesthetic in it, like with the way people talk. It has that kind of old Looney Tunes, that 1940s, 1950s feel, of especially like there's robots that are in that show, in that series, that like, when you encounter a robot and on the screen a cowboy face appears and it goes, "Hey partner." It's like it's got all that feel to it, and so I think if you're a fan of something like the Fallout series, I think you'd get a lot out of this movie with all those little touches that feel very much like those callbacks to those old 1940s and 50s animation, Looney Tunes and otherwise.
Right.
So yeah. It's definitely an enjoyable watch. I definitely recommend it. It's not going to scare you, but it's going to be fun.
No. I think the only thing, though, is if you're going to show it to your kids, Gremlins, they're very lighthearted in this one, but Mohawk, the spider
is very
Gremlin,
scary.
is probably going to scare, someone. Yeah. A kid under 7 or 8, something like that.
Yeah, because again, I think this one was also PG-13. That.
Oh, this is PG-13. Yeah,
I believe it is after the first one setting that standard of
volleyball holiday. I mean,
yeah. I think once you put volleyball holiday in, you got to go PG-13.
Right. Yep.
So on the volleyball holiday note from me
and me,
thank you so much for listening, and remember I forgot. I got to quickly announce the winner of the Winter Extravaganza giveaway, the Nosferatu's t-shirt, Ricky Cartwright. Thank you so much for entering. We're so glad you won. She already has received her shirt.
Awesome.
And let me know that she's very pleased with it. And so
it's quality.
Thank you so much for listening, Ricky, and everyone else.
Yep.
Remember, the broadcast is coming from inside the house.
Yeah. And there's gremlins inside the house. Is that what you were going to say? You were going to go there, right?
I was just going to leave it.
You were just going to say nothing. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'm just stocking up on canned food and shotguns.